All right. There it is. There it is, man. There it is, man. What's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? Listen, these next couple of, excuse me, I'm over here growing the mustache out because, Seattle Mariners are still inside the MLB playoffs. Cal Raleig's still playing, so that means, we keep the stash, saying the home run hitter, say the home run derby champion, or the leading home run dude, what? We growing out the mustache on some solidarity, if you will. But, like I said, if you're wondering about the setting, people just wondering about this stuff, man. Let's get into this first, though. Hold on. You might be able to see, you might not, man. TTH, that's the Truancy hour. We are on 202. Looks like we're on 202, man. Like I said, we got the little whiteboard cleaner. Sustainable product, it's not like I got no extra bleach on my hand when I was spraying the joint. Not crazy like that. But we out here right now, man. Couple of house rules, I guess I would say, man. I don't know. I'm over here paying attention to my surroundings. I'm watching them doors, seeing if see if I'm about to get kicked out at any point. We'll see. Because I got the room right now to myself. I've been having a room to myself for a couple. I don't know. I've been here for a minute now, like about a good 3 hours, if anything. I was watching a movie a while ago, but if you watched episode 201, you saw that I was in the same room. This is happening right after. Excuse me. Ooh, I had the green juice. But this is Truancy Hour 202. This is the second one. We're going to do as many as we can throughout the day and set them up like that. Get them out into the future. You understand? Either we ride on time or see, if you were around for the early episodes, that's the thing. If you were around for the early episodes, they were live streams. Those were gems. So shout out to those people that were around for a majority of those. A lot of those people ended up being my moderators. You know what I'm saying? These are people who ended up being my moderators because they were there through the thick and thin, through the actual live streams when I was really just face to face. Now we pre-record stuff. Now you got to come find me if you can. Because some of y'all be on some weirdo shit. But we put what we can into the future. You know what I'm saying? We setting it up right now, and we putting it out into the future as best as we can. This is Truancy Hour 2002, man. That means we did 200 episodes from about February, from the month of February. I think that's when I did my first one. So we'll say January, February-ish, around that time period up until, what was that, man? October. So within that time span, we had about 200 episodes done. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? We're on episode 202. This is right after 201. Same gear on, same room. House rules. Let's talk about that. My bad. That's what I glazed over. Pause. I'm gonna say this every time, especially when the setting's looking like this. When you're given the opportunity, man, you gotta take advantage of it. Plain and simple, man. I'm over here listening to the whoop wop, etc. But you gotta understand something, man. When we in these university spaces, that's one thing. You understand? When we in these university spaces like this, kind of like what it might be, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Shit, there's another room I might be able to use next time. I might just walk over there and knock it out like that. Just sit there, go over there, do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Get suited up, spruced up, etc. Go over there, knock it out, get some work in, create some content, right? Everywhere I go, making it happen. This getting recorded on the weekends. How you spend your weekends, man? I spend at work and I'm doing this. If I ain't doing this, I'm about to hit the, you know what I'm saying? Get back on the Wi-Fi, hit the live stream. Your boy might just be camped out. Blah, blah. Doing a thing right there, just being a troll in the cut. Because what they gonna do? They just gonna try to find, bro, just living out here? They can come look for me, bro. I'm gonna just be out here. And I got, like I said, I got the thing. So it's just like, but again, like I said, you got the access. It's one thing, this is for people that have the access to the university spaces. If you have access to university spaces, take advantage of it and use it. If you have, if you have, shoot, I use the library a lot. If you go to the library, you can use the internet for free and you can bullshit on the internet. You can also read books, find some books to read. You know what I'm saying? You can really just make a better version of yourself, make yourself a better person. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. If you have access to the university places, this is the point I'm making. House rules here. House rules, when you enter any space, it doesn't matter if you enter the Truancy Hour space, if you're tapping into my content with the Truancy Hour stuff, or if you have actual access to university spaces, I want you to carry within yourself the university mindset. You understand? It's a university mindset, and it should be universal, but it isn't. So we're gonna say university mindset, because some people will go to college, some people will go to university, some people go to school to get a certain type of degree, if not a certification. They get something, but they get their skills up. What I will say is that you understand the degree of things that you can handle in life and that you've already handled. You understand the degree of things, the threshold of things, or there's a point that everyone has. You understand the degrees of those things better than anyone else, because it's your life, it's your body, it's your mental, it's your spirit. You understand it, and it's time to start certifying yourself. You understand? It's time to start certifying yourself, because people will pay out of pocket. Some people will be in debt for the next 10 to 15 years, trying to pay off something that they already knew about themselves, that they could have just been doing the whole time, or they weren't gonna go for anyway. Some people got degrees that they don't use. They be working at GameStop. It be that way. It be that way. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing to be mad about. It's just a little stepping stone. But before anything, create the university mindset within oneself. And just know that, like, hey, when I leave the house, man, I might not be a college kid. I might not have a degree. I might not have a certification, but I am certified in understanding the degrees of myself and etc. You know what I'm saying? All them things. Understanding all the things within yourself. And it might not create some confidence. It may or may not create some confidence within yourself, that is necessary. It may or may not. Let's tell the truth about it. It may or may not. And that's coming from me, because I don't walk around with confidence ever. I don't ever walk around with confidence. I walk places recklessly. I walked up in here recklessly. I looked at people, I nodded my head, and they act like I belong, because they knew. They saw me. It was like, yeah, we see this dude before. And I'm like, yeah, you've seen me before. If we need to have that conversation, we'll have it. I'm not no tough guy, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't no tough guy. I'm not sitting here looking for scraps or like battles and all that stuff. I ain't doing all that. I'm just over here like, hey, man, like I say, man, the space is just available for me. I'll come through with that university mindset, up and down from the root to the crown. You know what I'm saying? I have if it's not necessarily a vast understanding of self, it's a very in-depth understanding. And I won't sacrifice that for anything. I won't sacrifice it to pay off some little whatever. But I ain't gonna lie, I might go to college just to learn a couple languages, because I like being around people. I like being around people, you know what I'm trying to say? So if you catch me back in there paying the tuition to get up in the schools, like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the college. Like, let me learn this Japanese shit, bro. Let me learn that Italian, whatever the fuck, man, because I'm gonna be moving out to another country. Fuck all this bullshit. That's me. Now let's talk about that, because I'm trying to learn this Japanese so I can be living in Japan and shit. I'm gonna be living in Japan playing Dragon Quest all fucking day. I'm gonna be playing Dragon Quest. I'm gonna be learning all the Pokemon names in Japanese type shit. I'm gonna be on some Nihongo shit. You already know what that is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna bring my arts. I'm gonna bring my arts to the islands, because that's how I'll be over there. But whatever. But I don't even know. I might be living in Osaka type shit, because I heard I should be living in Osaka. But I did a little more research. I did a bit of the astrocartography, and I started finding little ley lines and spots. I'm like, oh yeah, Japan, that's one of the spots. If it ain't there, it's Italy and Brazil. I got options, man. So we're gonna learn Japanese, Italian, Portuguese. We're gonna learn everything we can. But that's beside the point, because before we get there, here's the thing. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it, man, because this is the topic of today, man. Let's talk about it. 202, man. Learning to be at peace, man. Let's talk about that shit. Hold on. And we got the thing right here, man. 202, man. Learning to be at peace, bruh. That's what we really on here. Learning to be at peace. Matter of fact, let's do it like this. This is why we're discussing different languages. Bear with me. I'm gonna tell you something about me, man. I'm just the name that my parents gave me, and I'm the name that I gave myself, man. But for today, because it is the channel, I'm Bane today, so let's talk about it, bro. I ain't no certified teacher. Don't ever get fooled by the whiteboard. I ain't no certified teacher. I got none of that. But like I said, the spaces and places is available for me. I'm gonna utilize it. I'm gonna take advantage of it, and you're gonna see me here, boom, hitting the whiteboard, doing what I gotta do. So like I said, I ain't no teacher. Don't ever sit there and act like I'm over here teaching you something or I'm providing something. If I am, I am. But for the most part, man, it is what it is. I'm just doing, I'm just doing this thing. It's just what I do. It's where my mindset is at. But I'm over here wanting to learn Japanese almost to, go to Japan and be a little more peaceful. Now, I've never lived in Japan, so in theory, think about this. In theory, I went based off the astrocartography. That was my main point. I had a friend who, when everything started getting crazy in terms of the climate of America, now I ain't talking about weather and temperature and shit. I'm talking about the climate of people to people, the way they interact with each other, the way they snake each other, and all this weird shit. You know what I'm saying? All that weird stuff started playing out. My friend said this a long time ago. Shout out to my guy Dante. He said this like last year. He said, I ain't fucking with this. I'm about to go out to Japan. I said, where, that's how you feel? And he was like, I mean, if it ain't Japan, it's gonna be another country that's really just gonna accept and have some respect for me. Because right now it's just not happening. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. At that time period, now mind you, this is like 365 days ago. This is like last year. I'm thinking like, man, I'm born and raised in America. I ain't gonna run. That's my mentality. But come to find out, the more I battle here, the more that I deal with the bullshit here, I'm actually not against it. If anything, I can handle it really well. I'm able to navigate it really well. The issue I had, and I realized, was that, oh yeah, that is a problem. The fact that I'm very comfortable around the bullshit. The fact that I could just be sitting at the park and the random crackheads and homeless people can come hang out with me, and I'm real chill about it. There's nothing wrong with that. They just are who they are, and I am who I am. But the person that I am is just someone who's been someone who is searching, if not seeking for, something a little more peaceful than I'm used to. So I'm sitting here just at the park. If I wasn't there, I'm over here, downtown at certain libraries. I'm at downtown certain spaces. I'm in certain spaces that's very crazy. Motherfuckers gonna pull the knife and gun out at any point. I'm real comfortable over there, just sitting there drinking some coffee, sipping coffee, or just whatever, just on my phone. Like, man, y'all can try to run up on me, but I'm just over here chilling. Like, real comfortable in these environments on some bullshit. It don't matter if it's the back of the bus, wherever it is. I'm just real comfortable with all the bullshit. And I started thinking to myself, like, yo, that's hella contradictory to what you think and where you think you need to be in life. Because I will say, generationally, I can go back to understanding. My grandpa used to tell me stories about his dad, which is my great-grandpa. And he knew the name, and he knew a little bit about his grandpa, which is my great-great-grandpa. So that's about what? That's great-great. All right, check this out. That's great-great-great. That's my grandpa. There's mom and dad, right? And then there's me, and then my niece. So that's 6 generations of knowledge of my family. You understand? 6 generations of knowledge about my family tree. Just understanding whether it's the names and the specific, whatever, who they are and whatnot. At least especially on my dad's side. My mom's adopted, so we don't know much. You understand? We just know the immediate family that adopted her. That's about it. But my dad's side, we got that down pat low key. Like I said, great-grandpa dude was a Spanish friar. That's why we got Spanish genes. That's why my beard and hair be looking a certain way. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's looking a certain way. That's why my uncles and my dad, them motherfuckers like 5'8", 6 foot tall and shit. You ain't never seen a Filipino that tall, man, but the motherfuckers got Spanish genes. They mixed in with a whole bunch of other shit. But I know a couple of indigenous Filipino people that are 6 foot tall. So that's a whole nother conversation though. That's some other shit. Them motherfuckers they eat different type of greens over there. You living in the mountainside or by the sea in the water and shit. You got a different type of diet. Them motherfuckers eating real good. They don't got the, they don't got the excess amount of salts that fuck with the brain type shit. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not no nutritionist, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm over here fucking around. Learning to be at peace, man. I started really thinking about this. Cause I'm like, damn, I'm well aware of all this shit here. As much as I am with myself. But it started to be contradictory to what I was looking for. I was like, yo, I can look back all these generations. Everything was all about navigating certain, if it wasn't World War II, it was martial law. If it wasn't that, it was just colonialism in general. Within the barrio, the barangay, on the country, the countryside, whatever, in the mountains, by the water type shit. There was always some type of form of whatever. And they were never necessarily at peace. So I'm like, damn, even though we enjoying video games, eating McDonald's and shit, motherfuckers doing that. They going to Chuck E. Cheese, going to see my cousin. We want to go fucking Chuck E. Cheese when we were kids, So that's, a lot of people argue, oh yeah, the family finally found peace. You still in a neighborhood where racism exists. The police will harass you still in a neighborhood where, we had yet to understand the institutionalization, if not the internalized racism that we treat each other with. So we just over here harming each other. We're doing each other wrong, and we look at each other as enemies, if not someone who's possibly a problem, rather than someone that we have something in common with, and that we can actually love. Like, we didn't really have that understanding until now. But now that we have this understanding now on a deeper level, and like all of us have a pretty, simple, plain understanding about it, by then a lot of people are long gone. If they ain't drugged up, they're already dead. If they ain't locked up, they're already dead. So where's the peace at? I don't think we ever had no generations of peace yet. Sometimes you'll sit there and look at, certain white family members or other, like East Asian type of people, like their lives have been very, to some degree, peaceful throughout their generations in more recent times. And I'm like, yo, we've never got a sense of peace. I'm looking at my own family tree and timeline. And then I have to look at my own family members, and some of them that had more peace than I did, they're looking for problems and chaos. They're looking for a bit of drama because they need a little spice in their life. I'm over here like, yo, I come from that, we the first cousins that had, when I say first cousin, I'm talking about like, first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, but we them first cousins, and we them cousins in general that had the rats up in the house and the hands getting thrown at us, little boys, you know what I'm saying? All that crazy shit. So where was the sense of peace, man? Where was the sense of peace when the little kids wanted to run around, play around the neighborhood, run around, get on the bikes, play around, and you got these weird white fucking trucks and vans pulling up. It's these fucking grown men rolling around looking for little kids to snatch up and do who knows what. Weirdo shit. We used to drop the F-bomb on them people and we was ready to swing back. We was ready for all that. But you going through all this and it's normal for you. You cutting out certain meals of the day because you want someone else in the household to eat. It's normal for you. You sharing with the cold water, that shit is normal for you. I'm speaking about me at least, but I know some other people relate to that shit. And I realize that's normal, but it ain't necessarily peaceful. So again, back to university mindset. How do you find the peace within? How do you learn to be at peace, bruh? There was a time period where I'm thinking like, okay, I might have to go out the country and just figure that out, because even though there is like a workaholic culture, if not just working hard for the company that you work for, or just making money and always just hustling, bustling, and grinding in Japan, I'm thinking like, well, at least if I'm out there, bringing my American understanding and just my university mindset of self, etc., into another place that's a little more respectful, if not peaceful, at least I can get a different grounding there. Set up a whole new generation of like, hey man, it ain't perfect over here, but at least we ain't struggling and having to look over our shoulder for some type of crazy ass shit. That's all I'm looking for. You got places like Switzerland that's supposedly like that. They're real peaceful, but they still gotta work type shit, right? That's where my mindset is at. Hold on, let me move this because, boom, I'm trying to see the green light. Gotta make sure I got the green light on. So yeah, man. Learning to be at peace. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That's just where my mind started going. So I started thinking a lot. I was like, I might have to start learning Japanese or something. I started thinking about my friends said they wanted to go to Japan early. I don't even know if they're still in the country. They might be who the fuck knows, man? I got off the phone with them a while ago, but like a couple days ago. They might not even be here. They might be pretending to be here. They might be somewhere peaceful already. But if they're at peace to some degree with their decisions. But let's talk about this right here, man. What does peace look like for you? What does peace look like for you, man? Everybody got a different answer, story. Come on, dog. Everybody got the different answers. Everybody got the different stories. Come on, bro. What's it look like to you, man? To me, I'll speak about it for myself a little bit. Like I said, just something where you ain't got to look over your shoulder. Something where you don't got to be on point. Something where when you walk down the street, you don't zigzag. And every time you zigzag, you use your peripherals to see who's falling behind you type shit. You know what I'm saying? We over here crossing the street, just acting like we're crossing the street like it's normal. You know what I'm saying? Over here just crossing the street like it's normal. I'm seeing right here real quick. I'm not even staring at them too much unless I need to. I ain't staring at them too long unless I need to. It's like that sometimes. You just pretend to cross certain streets because you know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Some people live like that, man. Let's say like, boom, you walking down the street, right? Actually, hold on, let me face the camera. You walking down the street, two sides of the road. You got this side of the road, you got that side of the road. Going east to west, you going east to west, right? You coming from the east side, you going west. Where's the downtown? What side of the street you gonna stay on? You gonna stay on this side or that side? The building you need to get to is on that side of the street. You can stay on that side of the street, but if you walk right here and if you ever need to move, you can go left. You know what I'm saying? Like just think about little shit like that. The fact that you gotta think and move a certain way rather than be direct. And I'd rather be more direct from a place of love and light than have to navigate around the darkness and shit, navigate around the chaos. And I'm so used to that bullshit sometimes I'm like, oh, you gotta move a certain way because you never know if anyone's gonna be a creep or whatever, whoop pop. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be crazy, man. But it's like like I said, generations of this shit, all the trauma came down to me. And I don't know no one else in the family, if not in my generation, that's really working on undoing the trauma, if not undoing the, you know what I'm saying? I just had the word, goddamn. normalization of these negative thoughts and behaviors and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? This isn't to blame anyone in the household. This isn't to blame the whole generations of mother shit. This isn't to blame white people, colonialization, and all that stuff. If anything, it's more about taking responsibility for the fact that, yeah, I might be a fucked up individual mentally, but yeah, we really tapping into it, trying to figure it out, trying to find the peace within self more than anything before I go somewhere else. Because the thing is, if I go somewhere that's peaceful and calm and quiet, I can get over there and then still not be who I need to be to function in that society. You understand? Some people can't wait to get to America. They get over here and they realize, damn, I could really just be lazy and hang around until it's time to get to work, and then all of a sudden they fucking off, and it's like, damn, you've been fucking off the whole time. You creating bad habits. You showed up to America, you had all these opportunities, you had all these things you could have been doing the whole time. Shit was in front of you, money was all around you, you didn't do nothing. Some people do it sometimes. I know some women like that. It's crazy. On that same regard, though, I will say in Japan, man, a lot of women sitting there trying to navigate them creeps and shit. Motherfuckers following them home and trying to figure out where they live, stealing some panties and weird shit, all this type of weird ass shit. Who the fuck knows? I mean, that's part, I don't know, man. They got a whole different culture I'd have to learn. I gotta tap into the language and then tap into the teachings and the videos, etc. We're gonna figure that out. I ain't too worried right now. But like I said, that's the idea. Maybe you go to Japan, right? That could change, that's still pending, that could change, that could be whatever, because I might wanna go somewhere warm. I might wanna be down in Brazil. I might wanna be in southern Italy if it's a little warmer by the Mediterranean. I'm just saying, I got options, but I'm just thinking about this stuff, like what does peace look like to me? I'm somewhere warm now, somewhere around people that kind of respect what I got to say. I could just do my work, I could just make my music, I can create my art, I can create my content, I can just create things and do things and have fun, speak to people from a distance, speak to people who I need to face, go hang out at a little cafe or something, you know what I'm saying, just sitting there, just living my life peacefully. What's that look like? Is there any peace on the planet right now? I don't think the whole planet is at a peaceful place, but I need to find them spots and create those generations to see what becomes of that. Because me tapping into the art of this, it's the first time ever, and you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking about all them generations. They did probably some form of dancing and singing, I'm pretty sure. Because you could dance and sing everywhere you go, but to be given certain tools like a pencil, a pen, a Sharpie, and just create art, to be sitting there given a tool of a laptop, create something, type it up, a video camera, you know what I'm saying, a phone, whatever, anything, just to create something, put it out there, put it in the stratosphere, put it in the cloud of Google, Alphabet, whatever, YouTube, all that shit. To do that, this is the generation we're tapping into, and that's what I'm doing right here, man. It looks like this. I don't even think, you know what I'm saying, my great-great-grandpa could have dreamt that it would look like this, but I'm looking like this right now. Right or wrong. You understand? I don't even think they really thought it would be like this. But here I am living in it. I gotta navigate it. I gotta navigate this shit. What's peace look like to you, man? That's what I'm saying. Like, so you gotta sit there and really wrestle with it. You gotta really sit there and ask yourself, like, what's it look like? Just really think about it for a second, man. Think about all the times you've ever been at peace, just in general. Maybe it's just a home. Maybe it's just all about getting some nice furniture. Maybe it's about having a dog on the side. Now, how do you maintain that? Yeah, you would just take care of the dog fur, you would take care of the dog itself. It could be that simple. It could be as simple as, it don't matter where you go, as long as you can afford a coffee. It don't matter where you go, as long as you can hear the ocean. It don't matter where you go, as long as you can see the sunset setting behind a set of mountains. You see the sunset setting behind, on top of some water. You might even want to look at the sunrise in the morning. You might be the type of person that leaves the house early in the morning because you want to go fish and you love watching the sun rise over the mountains. You want to see the sun rise over the water and just go out there fishing in the morning. You might want to be somewhere warm. You might want to be somewhere where you can be have a little overcast and be a little chilly and just, be cozy and type shit. Just what does that look like to you, man? Ask yourself that. Really ask yourself that. My bad. Now we gotta ask ourselves this question right here, man. I was thinking about this a little bit. Not sure how long it's gonna take me to expound on it, but hopefully I'm a little more direct on it and positive. But does peace involve excommunicating loved ones or ignoring responsibilities? When you a dude, man, in the neighborhood, seen this dude around. I probably like 3rd or 4th grade. We seen this dude around. My brother's like, my brother was saying, he pointed the dude out because he said what's up to him. I didn't even know who he was. He said, oh, so yeah. They just talked and they left. real quick. And he said, my brother said my brother has a childhood friend, right? They used to live up the street. He said, that's so-and-so's dad. I said, oh, okay, that's crazy. I never met his dad. He said, yeah, he don't be living at the house. He don't live at their house. I said, oh, okay. So there was another time, probably a couple months down the line, we're all just hanging out, throwing football, you know what I'm saying, just playing basketball, just hanging out, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. We see Brett's dad, and we're with Brett. And we see him, and they say, look, and they go on about it, but it, wasn't much love there. That man was at peace, you know what I'm saying, like in his own strange way. He was at peace with just simply running the streets all day, man. He loved being outside type shit. He loved navigating from point A to B. I'm pretty sure he had a place to stay. He might have not. He might have been in certain spots, he might have not. He might have just found places to crash at. We don't fucking know. I don't fucking know personally, man. I don't know if he had his own spot. Because it'd be crazy to think like the man had his own spot and he just wasn't living with his kids. He wasn't living with his ex-wife, if not the girl, that whatever, and then his son, who was our friend. You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy to think about that, but in his own strange way, that man was at peace, man. So you gotta ask yourself, moral decision, if not based off of your own principles, man, what does that look like? Does your peace come from just excommunicating certain people, walking away from them, leaving loved ones, and leaving certain family members? Are you truly okay with that? Being at a far away distance from them, if not just being in the same town, a couple blocks away, and you're still distant? You know what I'm saying? What does that look like? How are you excommunicating certain people? What does that peace look like? Sometimes you get rid of friends that might just live right down the street. Like, I don't even fuck with them no more. That shit that they be on, or whatever the fuck they doing now, or whatever end up, you know what I'm saying, ending the relationship. Sometimes you just don't fuck with them no more. It's like that, man. And it's enough to excommunicate them. And then people be right there. They be right there. But you gotta ask yourself, were you willing to excommunicate them people? You understand what I'm trying to say? Are you ignoring certain responsibilities? Like your responsibility as a father to certain people? What does that peace look like, man? You gotta ask yourself these questions. And you gotta ask yourself principally, if not morally, if you were to see that in someone else. Let's take yourself out the equation real quick. You see that shit in somebody else, how you gonna judge them? How you gonna feel about that person? Will you have a whole lot to say about this person, or even to that person? And then even self-reflect on yourself and ask yourself, like, would you do that? Would you have that same kind of talk with yourself? Would you have that same kind of feeling for yourself? That emotion, that sentiment? Would you have that? Let's talk about it, man. Like I said, what does that peace look like? Am I messed up on those? Hold on. What does that peace look like, man? Who do you have to excommunicate? What responsibilities are you getting rid of, man? I think about that sometimes, man. I ain't got no issue doing these physical labor jobs I've been doing this whole time. Some days I've been breaking my back doing extra days. Some days I break my back, you know what I'm saying, just hurting myself, just doing extra work on the actual days that I'm allotted, even though I'm only working like 3 days a week. Sometimes I'm just doing the most and I'm hurting myself in the long run. But it's like, there's nothing wrong with just dropping that after I get to a certain amount of money, right? Or just even in general right now, and just saying fuck all that and just getting out of here. That'd be the most blissful thing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes just leaving your job, just like, I'm tired of the bullshit, man. I'm tired of just navigating certain individuals, whatever it is that you think you're struggling with or dealing with. And if you're trying to handle things peacefully as much as possible, if that's what you think the peace looks like, or that's what you think the peace, if that's how you think the peace has to be conducted, then who am I to knock you doing things in that way, in that manner? You're excommunicating these jobs and responsibilities, but you gotta ask yourself now, does that job help pay for people that you need to provide for? You understand? There's a reason that the person that I'm under their roof, they're over here just still doing it for me, and I'm over here like, I need to get out there here. Cause this motherfucker feel like he need to provide for me. That's my dad. He's a solid dude. That's a solid dude. He feel like he needs to take care of his kids till the end. The man probably carries this level of shame and guilt just based off of the way that he came up, but also the way that he kind of fathered us. So he feels like he owes us that responsibility. But I'm like, I hope he understands, like, I'm a grown fucking man. I'm over here willing to give him some money any day he asks. He needs to ask me for some shit, I got him. But the man got so much pride. But also that, like I said, back to the peace, he created a sense of peace around that. You can see it. He's happy giving, he's happy providing. It's a crazy thing to watch. I ain't on that level yet. But I'm trying to find my own version of that. That's why I give that man his props, man, all the time. I always give that man his props, and if he needs some money, boom, we throwing that shit on the table, like, what you need, how many, wow, you know what I'm saying? When my mom died, I made sure I paid for all the expenses, man. This motherfucker tried to put money in my hand. I said, man, fuck that shit. I'm burying my mom. It wasn't no hate towards him. It was just the fact that I know he would have went out of his way to try to do some shit anyway. He was willing to go cremation and all that shit, which is cheaper, and I'm like, nah, man, she want to be buried, I got it covered. We gonna do that. Because the man already worked hard enough, man. You understand? The man already worked hard enough. The man, bruh, this dude was dealing with a fucking heart condition. We had 2 people physically handicapped in the house, my mom and my grandpa. This dude was the only person in the house providing, only fucking breadwinner, all in it, just taking care of everybody, putting it down like that. I'm not on that level yet, man. I'm far from it. I'm trying to get up like that. I'm trying to get up there. That's a man that didn't ignore his responsibilities. I gotta give that man his props all the time. The other point I'm making is this, man. Who are you excommunicating? Really think about that. What purpose do they really serve? On some 9 times out of 10, 6 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10. The people in your life that are a little more negative, if not got nothing to provide, call your phone always on some drama. I don't give a fuck if they're your cousin. I don't give a fuck if they're your brother, whatever. If they're always on some bullshit and got nothing to say, and every time you got something positive, productive to say, they put you on the back burner. They act like they ain't heard shit, or they'd rather hear from somebody else even more successful than you. I actually don't see nothing wrong with excommunicating them and trying to get to that level of success, because sometimes you might need to get there just to reach people, unfortunately, if that's what you're trying to do. Just ask yourself, man. Just ask yourself. Let's try to end it on this right here. I made sure I had it written down, man. Because like I said, we're doing some professional shit, man. Truancy hours. 202, we in the 200s now. We're in the 200 sections for the truancy hours. Keeping it real professional. Like I said, university spaces, university mindset within. Let's get into it, man. Last thing about learning about the peace, bruh. Is your peace dependent on others, bruh? Loved ones, a certain amount of money, or a certain life achievement and or outcome? What's it look like, man? Some people feel like once they get to that peace, there's a wife involved, there's kids involved. Is that a requirement for the peace? Does peace now have a requirement? Does that make sense? Does peace require a certain amount of tools around you? I just need a house with my tools in it and my car. I just want to cruise all day. I want to cruise to my favorite place to eat breakfast at and just live my life on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Dominican Republic type shit. You know what I'm saying? Turks and Caicos type shit, whatever. Trinidad, Tobago, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Them islands. Just be living out there on the islands. Living out there in the Caribbean type shit, the Bahamas, whatever. Just living it up. Does it require you to constantly catch these cruises, cruise lines, you know what I'm saying? You're on the Argosy or whatever the fuck this shit, you know what I'm saying? Carnival cruises, Argosy, whatever this shit called. You over here on the cruises all day. What does the peace look like? Is that the requirement though? It's what it looks like, but then is it required? You gotta ask yourself, is it required? People be thinking, man, I just need to find that girl. I need to find that one, have the babies with, etc. I need to have that family. I need to have this type of wife. I need to have this. I need to have this, and the third to get that peaceful achievement setting. I need to have this amount of dollars in my bank account. I need to have this amount in stocks so I can just have dividends coming in and just be chilling. This amount will offset the taxes I gotta do by the end of the year, and also just like the extra expenses. Like I need to have this amount. Everybody got that number. Everybody got that thing, but like is peace only achieved after you've done that? Do you need those certain things? I guess that's what I'm asking, man. These are just all philosophical shit. Like I said, I ain't no teacher. I just wanna sit there and philosophize out loud, man. What's that look like, man? I'm not saying any right or wrong answers here. Just really ask yourself these questions, bro. Because like I said, I'm even, you know, I'm mulling it over myself as I'm saying it out loud. I'm mulling over a lot of these things myself, you know. I personally would love to have, you know what I'm saying, a wife and some kids. Something like that, right? We wouldn't even gotta be married. We could be married spiritually, whatever. But just having someone in my corner, even someone helping me raise these kids, and we're just living with them together, raising them together type shit. Just having that respect between each other, right? It'd be nice to have, but is that the requirement for peace? I've had days where I'm about to just go watch a Spider-Man movie. I'm about to go watch Venom or something. I'm about to go to the movies by myself. And I was at peace with that. I was cool with it. I told myself it'd be nice if I could go to these movies and I had a girl with me. I had someone to invite with me, but at that time period, I just didn't. But more importantly, I had enough money to get myself that sandwich and then that drink before I went inside the theater. Because ain't nobody paying for no food, no fucking theater. That should be like 20, 30 bucks just trying to get the damn popcorn, the candy, and then the fucking soda. This should be like hella money plus the tax. Shit crazy. So I was like, let me just go across the street. You know what I'm saying? Get the little boar's head sandwich at the deli type shit. Eat that shit, go across the street, then watch the movie. I forgot, it might have been One Piece or something. I might have went there to go watch One Piece or some shit like that. I don't even remember. But I'm over here just like enjoying my life. But I'm over here just looking out the window. I texted this fucking square, this bitch ass motherfucker. I said, hey man, I'm living the American dream right now. It's crazy. And this dude had the nerve to send me a video of like people shooting in my neighborhood, like, well, you better make sure you're American dream, blah, blah, blah. Like saying all this bullshit. And I was like, this motherfucker living well off and really good away from that other shit. But he got the nerve to talk about my situation. I know where I'm at. And that's the thing, is like even in my back streets in my neighborhood where they be shooting at, it don't matter if it's gentrified or not. I'm still at peace walking through these motherfuckers. Even with my financial situation, even with people dying and shit that I gotta grieve and all this stuff, even though I'm by myself, I still was at peace in those certain situations. I found days and I found times that I was at peace. It might not necessarily be a 24 hours of peace, you understand? But I was able to find it, so that's how I knew. A lot of these things aren't necessarily a requirement. They would be really nice to have. You start valuing yourself a little different, man. Today, man, today is an interesting day because there was 2 Beyblade tournaments today. I had about at least 1.5, if not 2 people message me talking about today is not gonna be the same without you. That let me know I was valued and loved and I was remembered and missed. I never promised I was gonna be there. I just seen it. I seen that it was available, but I never promised I was gonna be there. You understand? Never promised none of that. But to finally be told, and this is something I predicted, I even told people, I said, hey man, the stuff we're doing right now, I'm documenting it, but you're gonna see it in the future. Because I don't think a lot of us value what's happening right now. And that's how I know, man. That's the compliment, man. It'd be nice. It's the accessory to life, man. You could find peace anywhere you're at, and it'd be nice to have that shared moment and accompany with someone. But if you're dependent on it, and you're not at peace, you're just dependent. You're dependent upon having this person in your life. You're dependent upon looking forward to having these kids. You're dependent upon, I can't live my life. I can't even love myself unless I have 10,000 here, 20,000 here. I need a certain amount of money. I need a certain level of clothes. I need to be in a certain setting. I need fresh air. You need all of that. You got to ask yourself the requirements, man. Could you be in the belly of the beast? Could you be in the middle of a volcano type shit? Burning like you're in hell and find peace within yourself where you're at. You understand? I want people to really just question a little bit, man. What's that peace look like? One thing I think about all the time, man, it's like, you know, everyone talks about heaven and hell. I'm not religious necessarily, but you know, I'm on some spiritual shit if anything. But I will say this, bro. If I die and I meet God, and then God is like, hey man, bro, you ain't did enough, you gotta go to hell, or you want some bullshit, you gotta go to hell. I might low-key be at peace with that. I might be like, you know what, bro? That's how you feel? If God said it, man, all right, man. I'm gonna be at peace, just heading downstairs type shit. You know? That's the way I feel about it sometimes, man. You gotta be somewhere where God is present. You gotta be somewhere where nature is present. Water's around you. These are requirements. Do you need them? You gotta really just come back full circle and ask yourself, man, you're looking for this peace. You're trying to find this peaceful thing. You could find it right here. The thing is, before you get there, man, make sure you have a little bit of peace within yourself so you can bring that with you. You understand? You ever go to a party and you ain't got no party stuff to bring with you? You just there to party? It's dope if you're the party animal. It's dope if you're the life of the party. We had this little cookout, little hangout one time. Me and my cousin are chopping up about something, and then my cousin's sister goes like, "Oh, you guys are boring, and just walks away. And I was like, are you the life of the party? Because if you were the life of the party, you would never be bored. You'd make sure shit was always cracking. You ain't even worry about if shit is boring. You would just get it cracking. So either you get it cracking, or you're dependent upon showing up places and expecting an experience, expecting an outcome. You're dependent on that shit. University mindset, man. Master that shit within yourself, bro. Master that shit within yourself, bro. Get that shit right. I'm trying to tell you, man. Master the degrees of everything you understand within yourself, degrees of everything you went through and experienced. Master all that shit and certify yourself every time you leave the house. Don't let a certain amount of money, a certain level of appearance, or whatever define who you are. Don't let them people define who you are, man. You know yourself way better. You know what peace looks like within, you know, to your eyes, to your life, to your, you know, surroundings, and, you know, just your own inner being and the feeling of that. You know what that is. You know what that looks like. You understand? You know what that is. Master that. Find that. Be honest with it. Push through, man. Push through it, man. You can find it. You can be it. You can do both. It's that simple. You can find peace. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can be at peace. You can do both. You'd be real surprised. You'd be real surprised. Hopefully what I'm saying is making sense, man. I'm over here just philosophizing. I ain't got no answers for you. You got all the answers yourself. You know what time it is, man. Hey, man. Truancy hour. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.